What is up, everybody? I am Kevin Iole, big card in Mexico City for UFC on Saturday. And joining me right now, one of the guys who's going to make that a fun card, Kelvin Gastelum, UFC middleweight. He is fighting Joe Pyfer. That's going to be a hell of a fight. And Kelvin, I want to start with this. I appreciate you joining me. Joe Pyfer is a 3-1 favorite in this fight.
Let's go. Hey, that's the story of my career there, Kevin. Underdog for life, and I think I always will be. And you know what? I thrive in this position, and this is where I'm at my best, is when people don't think I can win. I love to prove people wrong, and I'm excited.
You know, I think part of your issue recently has just been your health and getting to the post, regularly. So now
Yeah.
the fact that you're back, how do you think that changes things when you're on more of a kind of a regular schedule now, and you don't, haven't had that long time off? How much do you think that helps you?
Definitely, I know that I haven't been as active as I've wanted to. We've had several fight cancellations of injuries and stuff like that. So it's taught me to kind of train smarter, right? Rather than going balls to the wall, we're training a lot smarter as well as harder. So yeah, I'm in a good place in my life right now, surrounded by great people, and just really looking forward to putting on a good performance this Saturday.
Where did you train for this fight? Because I know when you fight in Mexico City, right, you're fighting at extreme elevation, and we saw Cain Velasquez lose his title down there. Cardio Cain, kind of got gassed in the fight.
Right
Where did you train to get ready for this?
here, I've been here a total of 4 weeks now, and we've been training out in the mountains, 15,000 feet in elevation, and just getting really acclimated to the environments out here. So we did part of my camp out here, and we knew it was going to be tough when this fight was offered initially. We knew that it was going to be tough. It's going to take a little extra go, a little extra oomph to kind of get the cardio in, and so we made sure we spent the right amount of time out here to get acclimated, and that way the what happened to Kane doesn't happen to me, and you know.
Exactly. What was it like those first couple of days? You get there. I know you. So you said you were there for a month. So you had been training. You're in shape, I guess, for most places, right? Then you get to Mexico City. The first day you get out there and you get on the road and you start to run. What were your lungs feeling like?
Listen, we get to the Airbnb and we go up a flight of stairs and I'm done. Like that first day. So it's the real deal, man. People, I don't know if people truly grasp that idea in their head of how much the elevation and the altitude makes a difference.
Right. No doubt about it. Now, what do you make of Pyfer? I mean, he's a guy, a lot of power. He's been on a pretty good roll in his run in the UFC. Was impressive. Dana was really impressed with him on the Contender Series. What do you make of Joe, and where do you think you match up well with him?
Tough fighter. And he's got a lot of hype around him at the moment, and rightfully so. This is a very formidable opponent. I know it's going to be a very, very difficult fight, but I believe in the preparation, the strategy, and game plan that I've constructed with my team. So as always, I'm going in there confident.
I know, everybody at this level now is skilled in everything, right? But you have that little wrestling advantage that, maybe I wonder if you think that could be a difference in this fight. Both you're great strikers, both you have a lot going for you, but do you think that wrestling, especially in altitude, where if you start grappling and how
Oh
grappling
yeah.
will wear somebody down, how much do you think that might impact you?
Oh, I count on it being impacting in the fight. I think it could be a weapon if used. I think we put in a lot of work to be able to use cardio as a weapon. So I plan on putting him in deep waters, and we'll see if he's able to find himself.
You mentioned cardio as a weapon, and a lot of talk in the last year or so was about the bantamweight champion Merab Dvalishvili and his ability to just push and push and push. When you see that, like when you see one of your peers that has that kind of success, what does that say to you about what you can do if maybe you can take your cardio game to that next level?
Yeah, I mean, we've seen it with Marab. We've seen it with guys like Dreykus, who are just not necessarily the most technically savvy guys, but their cardio is just push, 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 100% at 100 miles per hour until they break you. And we see that in those fights. And I mean, these are some of the best conditioned athletes. We were starting to see that style more and more. And, we see it with Hamza. I mean, this guy just is a train. He goes 100 miles per hour.
Right.
And so you see that style coming up more and more, becoming more and more. Frequent in the game. So I think it's something that I need to adapt and put into my own game.
I'm curious what you thought. Your one-time rival Israel Adesanya. You're going to be forever linked to Adesanya for that great fight that you had going into the UFC Hall of Fame. It was kind of an emotional moment, I thought, when they introduced him and said that he was going
Right.
in. Your fight was a Hall of Fame fight. When you saw that, what were your emotions seeing Israel get that honor?
That was amazing. It was an amazing thing. I mean, I was at home watching. I was about to go to bed actually, and my coach Eddie Chaw texted me, told me I was in on TV, and I run and turn it on, and it's going on, and I'm like, "What is going on, man?" So yeah, it's pretty emotional. It's pretty emotional. You don't ever think these things will happen. Especially not now that I'm still active. Is he still
Right.
active? I don't think he's retired. This is old man stuff. So like
Yeah.
they're jumping the gun a little bit on this.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing. What was it when you think about that fight? How difficult was that to push through? And was it a mental thing more than a physical thing? Like, as you know, I know the momentum shifted both ways, right? But as the fight is going back and forth like that, what was that fight like? Can you walk me through sort of your emotions?
Well, it's crazy there, Kevin. I mean, to be able to 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 contemplate dying, I mean, then that's what Israel Adesanya said, right? You're gonna have, what did he say?
Yeah,
He's which
one of
one?
the closest things to death, wasn't it?
He said, I'm prepared to die.
Yeah.
And for someone to think that, and for someone to go to the brink of thinking of actual death in a fight, I don't think many people can do that,
Yeah.
and it's such a crazy thing to even fathom. It's like, okay, this next round, these next 5 minutes, I could possibly die.
Mm.
Like it was very intense to say the least.
I know, when you guys fly home after a fight, your body's got to be sore the next day. It can't be a fun,
Yeah.
especially if you got a long flight to make, right? It can't be too much fun. But was that fight any different than normal, like because of how much abuse you had taken in the fight? When you woke up the next morning, did the
No
body tell you,
way.
"Hey, dude, you were in a car wreck or something"?
Yeah, no other fight has been like that for me, in my opinion. Like, no, no other fight have I taken that amount of damage ever,
Yeah,
ever.
yeah,
Not,
crazy.
yeah, not before, not after that fight. Yeah, I got a lot of damage. The most I've ever had in my life.
Let's wrap up with two things here. Number one, you both kind of had your own odyssey. You're on a track, 19 wins in your MMA career, coming off a good win over Daniel Rodriguez. Do you ever think of maybe seeing him again? Like, now you're both kind of, in that, sort of, one of you needs a big win to,
Sure.
to get it back into contention. Do you kind of look at him as a guy that maybe you might see again someday?
I mean, I don't know. I don't know if that would ever happen again, but you know what? If the UFC ever offered it and the stars aligned for it to happen, then I would consider it.
Okay. And let's wrap it with this. I mentioned Joe Pyfer, and we talked about this is going to be a good, tough fight. How do you see the fight finishing? Like, where, obviously, you're going to be confident in yourself. How do you think you do it? Do you think you can finish him, or do you think this is going to be one you have to go in with the mindset, I'm going to grind for, 15 minutes in this bout?
I think I think you have to have both mindsets. You have to be ready for a war, 15-minute war, but at the same time, I think I can knock him out. I can submit him. Absolutely. So, this is MMA. Anything in the world can happen, as we've all seen throughout the years. This is why it's the greatest sport in the world. And, you know, I'm excited. I'm excited to go in there and just mix it up, man. It's been I think 8 months since that last fight with Daniel Rodriguez. So I want to be active this year, and I want to get some good fights in.
Well, let's wish you good luck. I appreciate you greatly taking the time, giving me the time for this, Kelvin. We will see you soon. Best of luck in Mexico City on Saturday.
My pleasure, brother. You the man.
You the man. See ya.